Hey everyone, Pastor George here with today's Theolog Mailbag, and I didn't have a question today, and instead of making some clickbait, whatever, video in order to get a bunch of views and then also get super downvoted, I thought I would just respond to something that people asked me about a lot in the past, because in recent years, maybe like the past 5 or so, a trend has started in the church to just become very popular, and that is like blessing of animal services and things like that. And so, and people have asked me if I'll ever do that, which I give a very strong and insistent no. I will not ever do that. The reason that this has re-entered my consciousness is because over the past week, Christian Twitter has been all tweeting about this person. I'll put this exchange to happen up here. So someone had, for those who don't understand Twitter, you can quote tweet someone, which means that their tweet shows up under yours and you respond to it. Okay. So I'm going to read the one the person is responding to first before we actually read it. So there's this girl who said, when I first started exploring Christianity, I went to a Methodist church and they fed communion to a service dog. So I left, LOL, right? And then this is a person that responded. And this person said this. They said, wow, let's unpack. 1, service animals are an extension of the disabled person, so naturally communion would be offered. 2, what a loving way to include someone's companion who helps them from day-to-day life into the community of Christ. Finally, beep, you heartless beep. So this is the type of stuff that I'm worried about when you begin to bless animals, even blessing them and making them part of the church service. Because in our culture, we have a very skewed and misunderstood way of viewing animals generally. And here we see that this is pretty much taken to the extreme here. This person is Unitarian Universalist, so they're not a Christian. So it is a little outside of it, but clearly they believe that they're a part of the community of Christ. And it's always important to remind them that they are not. Unitarians deny that Jesus is divine, and a Universalist is someone who believes that all people are saved no matter what they believe. There are people in the church who have taught or hope for that. I think it makes a mockery of God's justice, but you can be a Universalist and be a Christian. But Unitarian, absolutely not. So anyway, this person is making the argument here that animals, especially animals that help disabled people, are an extension of them and therefore part of their body, but they are not, right? Animals are separate and different than humans, and this is stated by God in Genesis when he's creating humans and puts us in charge of the world, right? Animals are not humans. And I think that this comes from ultimately a belief that the Lord's Supper isn't that important. And that it's like more of a community gathering event, which it certainly is a part of, right? It's a feast. It's something we do together, but it's also a remembrance of what Christ has done, where we treat the bread and the wine, or in our case, the grape juice, as the body and the blood of Christ. Of course, not literally, but even so, there's supposed to be reverence and guarding of who gets to take part in that, right? I mean, Jesus himself kind of hilariously says to one of the women in the Gospels, right? And here it becomes a very poignant, where he says, don't give that which is made for children to the dogs, right? And here you can literally see that being taking place in some contexts. And so I think that a lot of the times when people do this is just a desperate attempt on the parts of churches to, either because the ministers themselves are misaligned in what they believe about animals, or it's hoping that people will come if you do this type of thing. And I don't think it's ever worth it to sacrifice any sort of integrity of belief in order to get people to show up. So, and of course, you can, if this is the response that you get from people who believe this type of stuff, and Twitter was full of this, then you don't really have to worry about it, because this isn't a very Christian way of responding. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope all of you are having a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you on Sunday for worship. Peace out.